early today. It's Joanne Rogers. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Alberta, Canada, and I am glad that you have joined me today. We are going to be making a card. Whoops, I have to close my sound down. Sorry about that. And we're going to be making a cute card with a background using some dies that you probably wouldn't have thought of, or you never would have used the term cute for. So I want to show you how you can use a variety of different stamps and different dies to create a fun card using some things that you may already have in your stash. And so again, it's Joanne Rogers, and if you have been following me for a while, you know that I love to craft along with you, and I love for you to put into the comments what if I ask a question, or to ask if you have a question, and to share with the community so that if you have a question and someone else can answer it for you, please go ahead and do that. I love when people do that. So I am going to be turning you down here, and we're going to get started right away. One of the things as a reminder is that the holiday mini catalog, so it is August 15th, 2023 right now, and our new holiday mini catalog goes live in less than a month, so on September 6th. I just got my catalogs yesterday, so if you are a customer of mine here in Canada, I will be sending those out as soon as I can. And if you live near to me, near Red Deer, I will let you know when porch pickup is available. And if you're not currently a customer and you live in Canada, I would love to get a catalog out to you, so you can just email me at joe@designwithjoe.ca and send me your address and your phone number, and we can connect and I can send you a new catalog. And it is a pretty awesome catalog. So I'm going to get started today. I'm going to turn you down to my desk. So here we go. We'll do that right away. Let me try and make this a little bit smaller here, because sometimes I don't do that well. So let me just see if that, let me know if that seems to be working well here, if we've got a little space. And okay, I think maybe we might be in an okay position. Let me just try and straighten that up just a little bit more. Let's see if I go the wrong way. Quite possibly I will go the wrong way. So, and there's always a delay on here. Okay, so in my VIPeeps group, I asked what dies do we want to use today. And in the VIPeeps, I always give you that option of playing along and seeing if you tell me what you'd like to play with. And so today I gave the option of playing with the chic dies, the zany dude. You know what? I'm playing with this and I went the wrong way. I knew I would. Let me try that again. Zany Zoo dies, the chic dies, and the wanted to say dies. No, it wasn't Zany Zoo. It was Playing in the Rain. And I was surprised at what the option chosen was. It was the chic dies. So this set of dies, which have been in the catalog for a little while now, I'm going to show them to you. They come with a stamp set, and my stamp set is currently in a basket somewhere, about to be used, I think, in a class. So let me find the, it's called Season of Chic. And it's page 40 of the catalog, and let me show you what the dies go along with. So it has been around for a little bit, but it really is a very versatile stamp set. And most of you know that I love versatility. So when you can buy a set of stamps or a set of dies that are going to give you lots of versatility, I think that that's a great bang for your buck. So this one here covers all seasons. So it has we're going to start with summer being our flower. It has fall with our leaves. It has winter with snowflakes, and summer as well. It has seashells. And then there's all kinds of sentiments that will suit almost any kind of occasion during the year. There's also a couple background ones in here that are sort of fun to play with. And so we're not going to be using the stamps today, but I did want to show you that they match perfectly with the dies. And some of these dies will fit around the image in the stamp set. And some of them are detailed dies, meaning that they are just going to cut out an image that you don't need to have a stamp set for. So we are going to be using some of the detailed dies today, and we're going to go for flowers. So I'm going to just close this up. I'm going to be using these flowers right here. So I'm just going to pull those off and put this off to the side here, and I'm going to pull in the colors. So surprisingly, we are going to be using Gorgeous Grape, and Gorgeous Grape with the flowers is going to be a really fun combination. More fun than you probably think it is, because we're going to have a cool little stamp on here too. A really fun one. Now this kind of card you might want to make for a young friend, for a child, for a grandchild, and or you could send it to somebody so it's perfect to give them a smile. And I also have a sample I'm going to show you at the end, so make sure you stick around. So we are going to use this piece of paper. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, and I have it scored at 5 1/2. And we can go ahead and just fold along that score line. And this is half of a standard sheet of cardstock here in North America, in Canada. Crisp up the top fold a little bit. If you happen to have it go off a little bit, so mine is off, I think you can maybe see right there. So another thing you can do, it's off on this side, not on this side. So my paper is not cut completely straight. So I can try and adjust that by holding down this corner and just evening it out a little bit, or I can just turn it over, and from the back side, which is now going to be our front side, it looks just fine. So what are we going to play with? We are going to use our adhesive sheets, and these come in a pack of 12, and they are 6 inches by 12 inches long. These will last you a long, long time. And we're using them because we want to glue down these images. Now, if you don't have the adhesive sheets, you can use liquid glue, and that's fine. It's just more time consuming. And this is going to go together fairly quickly when we use our double-sided adhesive. So I'm just going to place those back again. I have a scrap piece of our Gorgeous Grape. I'm just going to put my silicone craft sheet underneath it to capture any of the liquid glue or any of the glue area. But I've just cut out pieces, and lots of times I like my pieces to be cut nice and square, but you don't have to. You can just use your paper snips and you can cut it into whatever shape you want. Now for this one, it's probably the best idea to have the entire image covered with glue, but it's not completely necessary. If you decide that you don't want to and you want to go right out to the edge, it will still work fine, and you're going to see why in just a little bit. So I'm going to take, let me see, if I do this one here, this is just a leftover piece. I'm going to put that one down. Now this piece here is one that doesn't have a little break in it. So you can see this is the sheet where it has a break in it right here. So maybe I'll use this one and I'll cut it down to size. So I just need it to be about this size. So again, I'm just cutting it. You do not need to get this perfect on the back. You're not going to see this on your card at all. So we're going to take off one of the panels. The release paper comes off pretty easily, and underneath there is the glue. So you can just discard that. And now I'm just going to put one of these down to start with. So I'm just going to put it right to the top, place that down. Now I'm going to take the next sheet. And they come off really well. You don't need to have nails in particular to get this to come off. If it is a bit of a challenge for you, just take your pick tool and just sort of pull it up from the corner. And what's nice about it is that I've noticed it doesn't flap down onto your paper right away, so you have a little bit of time just to smooth it down. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to place these guys on top of here, and we are going to cut them with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So let me pull that in. Now, I guess I could have done them on top. Why don't I do this? I'll put them on top right now. There we go. So you want to try and get into your corners as much as possible. You want to make the best use of your paper. So try and turn them around so that you get the best use of that paper. Get them, snug them up as close as you can get. Cover it with your second. So I have one underneath, one of my clear cutting plates underneath. I have my regular stamp platform rather, and I also have my die adapter, thin die adapter. So now I'm just going to run that through. Place your hand up here just to give a little bit more stability. And I'm going to run forward, and I'm also going to run back on this one just to make sure that it goes through. I have found these dies work especially well. I generally don't have to run forward and through, but just because I generally don't doesn't mean that today, because I want it to run through, that it wouldn't. It'd just be cantankerous. So there's our sheets. Now you probably do want to check and make sure it goes through on your cutter, because you have this extra piece of paper on the back. So with the adhesive sheets, it is a little bit thicker. Okay, so Leanne, hello. These are the chic dies that I am using. So these are available just as a die set in the catalog, not as a bundle. There we go. Not any longer. They were a bundle when they first came out. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to pop out all these little pieces. They should come out really, really easily so that I can just get my flower out of there. They should come out easily. They want to be sort of sticky there. Okay. And then this guy right here. So there are 3 different flowers in this set. They are all very, very similar, but they have some fun little edges to them. One is more like a small petal, and the others are one big one and then a smaller one again. So get rid of that. So what we're going to do now with our card, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to put it on top of my silicone craft sheet. Now, to do this, you are going to need several more of these, but I already have, with the magic of television or video, I do have one that's already prepped. So now what we're going to do is you want to think about what are you going to do on top of this, because this is going to be a background. So I know that I'm going to take a piece of basic white that's going to go pretty much right in the middle. So I want all of these little edges to go out to the edge. So this is sort of like a floating frame technique. Sorry, I should tell you what I'm doing. You want to take off that backing and you are going to just glue this down. And I am going to want these to go off the edges as much as possible, but they don't have to go off the edge a lot. So maybe this one I can do right up here. Right, and then this guy here, I might do right beside it. So I'm keeping in mind. Now, if you can't get that backing off, same thing. Take your pick tool to start it, to pull it up, and then you're going to place that one down too. And you want to go all the way around so that when you get to the end, you have something that looks like this. You have things stuck over the edge. Let's take this piece right here, this last little flower here. Take him off, and I'm going to put him, maybe I'll put him right here. Well, no, I'm going to put him down here. Okay. Now, so you've got your flowers all the way around where you think you're going to see them. Now your paper snips come in. So with our paper snips, we are going to cut off these edges. So turn your paper over, open it up, and just snip your edges. Okay. Keep those guys because we might need them in just a minute. Now there is adhesive on there, so they're going to stick. This one might be too small to use. And this one. So the shank of my paper snips are going right up against my cardstock. Okay, and then we have some that are also at the top. Okay, so what we're doing is just creating a background. Why we want to go off the page, I'm going to show you with my sample why we want to go off the page. It just makes your card look bigger. So now these pieces that still have glue on them, I am going to, let's see, take them and put it up here. Okay, it's also going to go over the edge. Anywhere where you think you might need just a little bit more coming in there, use those little edges. Get as much value out of them as you can. This guy, I'm going to put it here. When you do that, have the cut edges go over the edge. And then I think maybe right down here is where I'm going to put another one. Okay, and same thing. We want to turn that over. Oops, I have a little hitchhiker. Turn that over and cut them off. And you'll have a nice full background. Now we are using tone on tone here. So we are going for the same color paper, but you could use any color. If you wanted to have some bold colors, if you wanted to do Christmas colors, you can do green on red. You can do green, red on white, which would be really cool. So I'm just going to discard the rest of this. Okay, and now we're going to do the rest of the card. So if you didn't have glue somewhere, like I don't have glue right here, so I have no adhesive on this one, then I would put the no adhesive ones toward the inside of the card, because we are going to be putting something on top of this that will then hold that in place. Okay, so we have our flowers. Now you could do anything with this card. You could put an oval in there and just do a sentiment, but what we're going to do is we're going to put a rectangle in there that we are going to decorate up. So we're going to be using, surprisingly, the Playing in the Rain stamp set, and we're going to use the Oh Happy Day there, and we're also going to use the turtle. And you think, well, how am I going to do that turtle? So I have stamped the turtle already, and I have colored him in colors that you wouldn't normally think of for a turtle. But why not? Who says that when you're making your own cards that a turtle has to be green or yellow or a little bit of brown? You can make him be whatever color you want. And he's still just as cute as he is when you color him in different colors. So we have a pink, so what he is, he's Bubble Bath, and there's some blue Blackberry Bliss. This is Orchid Oasis for the little bit for his shell, and then Fresh Freesia. So we have some different colors for him, and we're also going to use the Oh Happy Day. So let me pull in just a scrap piece of paper. We're going to stamp that in our Orchid Oasis. Now the reason why I didn't color him with my blends Gorgeous Grape, we don't have a Gorgeous Grape. But if you put this on top of the purple, he is going to stand out really, really well. And again, I don't know why it's a he. I always think things are he, but she is also going to stand out very well. Okay, so it's the pink is just gonna pop right off the page, and because we're all in the same color families in purples, we'll be just fine. So let's do Oh Happy Day here. Nice and crooked, but that doesn't matter because we're going to pull in another of the dies, of your dies. So this is a good opportunity for you to use a bunch of different die shapes that you have. So we're going to be using labels, and I sort of think this size might fit just perfectly over top of there. Will it? Yes, it will if I pull it down just a little bit. And then I've also cut the Gorgeous Grape in this one right here. So let's run that through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Again, pull that in just briefly. We're going to put on a little bit of my painter's tape. Now I'm going to have to try and make sure that I've got this centered the right way. Hopefully I don't get my head into the screenshot for you. Put on a little bit of painter's tape that I've just taken a little bit of the tack off. And let's run that one through. Now what's nice about that particular die, let me take that off for you, is that when it cuts, it has a nice little bevel on it. I'm hoping you can see it. I'm sorry if the light is not great. My room is coming along, but I'm just waiting on my cabinets. So I'm excited to get those hopefully in the next couple of weeks because I'm tired of working in the storage room. So we've got our Oh Happy Day. We are going to glue that down on top. I'm going to, first of all though, I want to do a little bit of work on the piece that's going to go here. Okay, so this is going to go on the middle. I am going to take a piece of my, here, this is just an old one I have. Look at how awful that is. How many of you keep pieces of paper around like this? Like, there's no reason to not. You can see what I was working on. I was working on the Gone Fishing bundle. So I'm going to pull in my blending brush, close up the Orchid Oasis, and I think I'm going to go for Fresh Freesia in the background. I think he's going to, and if I think it needs a little bit darker, I'll pull in some of the Orchid Oasis too. Whoops. So when you are using your blending brush, you want your hand to be close to the head. Okay, this is a flexible brush. It's easy to use, but if you have your hand closer to the head, you're going to have a lot more control. So what I do is I dab into my paint and then I always dab off, because that's usually going to be, oh, hard to see, usually going to be my first dab. And I don't like that dab. So I get a little bit of my color off, the bold color, because I just want soft in the background here. So I'm just going to create a little bit of color in behind where our tortoise is going to be. So you don't need much color. So I've got Fresh Freesia, which is a very, very light color, just enough. And if we think we need more, we can always add more. We can pick up more color, but always dab it off. Okay, and then come in. Now, usually I advise coming in from the paper, but we're just going right into the middle of the card right now, cardstock. Okay, and then we're just going to put him on top of there. I guess maybe I really should call her, it, a she. Now you could go in with another color, but I'm just going to go in with the bubble bath. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm only going to use, just like we did with our die cuts here, I'm going to use our circle over the top and then I'm going to cut it off. So this is a way you can just, it creates a lot of interest actually to your designs when you have people sort of guessing a little bit what the rest of it looks like. Now I need my silicone craft sheet again, which I have put underneath. So I'm going to lay this on top. We're going to get most of it in there. So this is almost like it would make a great sort of award, you know, the gold foil that you get on a certificate or something. And then we're going to put that guy on top. Before we do that, what I want to do is I want to take my Fresh Freesia. Now you could use Fresh Freesia here, you could use the Orchid Oasis, but we're going to take the brush end and we're going to be very gentle with it. And we're going to take the tip and we're going to put it right inside the lid. And when we do that, we're going to flick, I'm going to move that over a bit. We're going to flick right on top of our Happy Day, just to give it a little bit of interest. And if you wanted, you could also put another color in there. And why don't we do that? Let me grab it. Oh, but I need to grab it. So I still have the old set here. So here's my Orchid Oasis. And this is the older brush. We had a new one come out with this annual catalog, but now I'm just going to put some of the Orchid Oasis on there and it'll just firm it up a little bit. Okay, so we've given it just a little bit of dash. Now we're going to glue that on top, but we're going to put it on with dimensionals. So this one here, I'm going to cut off. And you are going to get glue on your paper snips, but that is okay. You can clean it off with alcohol. It'll come off just with the alcohol you can buy in a, what's the word I want? Pharmacy, very easily. So I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this guy. I know I have one that I'm working on. Well, there's only one left there, so let's put that one on. I try not to use little teeny weeny ones here, but here it is. I think I do want to just use these up. So make sure with your own dimensionals that you go right out to the edges and that you cut them up. I find it easier to cut. If I try and just rip them, I usually end up using a little bit more than I intended to use. Just took the sticky off of that guy. So for me, I need to cut. So now we just take those all off. Fingernails, or again, you take your pick, which is pretty much an invaluable tool. So if you don't have one of these, you want to get one. So just stick it right in and then sort of lift up and to the, whichever way for you. I lift up a little bit to the left and it'll come right off. I have this one just attached. Okay, so that's going to go down. We got turtles flying everywhere. Okay, so try and center that right on your card. And what you're going to see is you're going to see the flowers just peek over the edge. Now I could still have one more flower there. And so I do have one more flower here in reserve. And I think I am going to put that there or down there. I think up there. But let's put it all together first. So let's put our tortoise on. I have dimensionals on the back already. So tortoise turtle, what do you tend to... What would you call this gal? I just about said guy. Is this a tortoise? Is this a turtle? Okay, so it's going to go so that the freesia is behind. Now, if you find the freesia needs to be a little bit more, let's put a little bit more off to the sides here. And you can still do this because it's a fairly soft kind of look we're going for. Okay, so she's in place. Let's put this last flower in place. This already has adhesive on it. And let's put that off here. And you know what? We are going to be able to do both places that I wanted because we're going to cut this one off. So these cards, they might take you a little bit longer just because you have to do all the die cutting. But you could also try this with your punches. I'm going to put this right down here. You could try it with your punches as well. And that would go a little bit quicker for you. Okay, and if you wanted, do I have enough to go over here? Yeah, I think just that part. So see how you can use a lot of those edges. So make sure that you get the most value out of them because you've already got the adhesive on there. And then let's take our Oh Happy Day, put a couple dimensionals there. Do I have this one cut? I don't have that one cut yet. Let's go over this guy here. Now we could put some. That's probably enough. I'll put one in the middle. Why not? We could probably put some embellishments on here too. So we're going to put our Oh Happy Day. Got a little piece of purple in behind there. Gorgeous grape. Now I'm going to have this come down as far as I can so that it's still centered, so that it's hopefully straight. Okay. And there's our Oh Happy Day. So what do we think? Do we need a little bit of bling? Maybe a tiny bit of bling here. And what am I going to look for? I've got a bunch of things here, but let's see. How about some of the, we could go for the Orchid Oasis in color dots, which will look great. I have one here trying to get away. Put that up there. Let's go for this guy maybe. Maybe right on top of the flower. And I could just go for 2 here rather than to go for 3. If I put another one up here, it sort of looks like it doesn't belong. Yeah, you know what I will do? I'll put 1 on the purple. There we go. So then we do have our 3. Okay, so that is your card. Let me show you the sample that I made so that you can see what the difference looks like. And I want to show you too, on this one, on the one I'm going to show you. Oh, and I didn't do the inside of the card. So what we're going to do is go on the inside. We'll just glue this down. And I should have one more flower. Let's cut one more flower. I can here. I think I can. I'm going to do that off screen, so hold on just a sec. And let me know if you've ever done this technique before. And if you have, what have you used to create it with? I'm looking for my dies here. Yeah, there they are. So let's go for one of these. So if you've done this technique before, have you done it with all the same color like this, or have you used different colors? And yes, I am still here. I'm making noise on my little movable wiggly guy here. And let's put one more on the inside. Pop these out. And we'll glue this guy down. Now, if you wanted, you could put more greetings in here too. So I'm seeing not too many comments today. Okay, so let's put this guy up here. Okay, and your greeting can go in there. So let me show you the other one so you can just see the difference. So this one here, I did with the Zany Zoo character. So this is the raccoon, obviously. I used the nested dies here. I think I used the nested dies. Nested essential dies. But here I used a very small, so this is the die. So rather than going for a detailed die, I used a solid die here. But you can see that really, if I were to take this now and put a few more dies here going off the edge, what it's going to do is it's going to make the card look that much bigger. Okay, it's going to just pull it off so it doesn't look like it's cramped in the middle of the card. So I may still do that in order to complete it. So let me know which is your favorite. I'm always very interested to know that. And thanks for watching today. If you are a customer of mine, please be sure to use the host code so that we can amass some rewards. And this is it, www.designwithjo.ca/hostog23. And that will also get you $5 cash back. So next month I will send in the mail a crisp $5 bill so that you can use it towards some of your stamping items. So thanks for joining me today, and I will see you again next week. I will be on Facebook Live, and you can find me there. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.